Hey, Rod Bob here, and I wanted to share with you our latest episode of Cruisin' with a Z car shows. Today we are in beautiful Ocean City, Maryland at the 32nd annual Cruisin Ocean City Car and Truck Show. Day one. We have so much for you to see here that it will be aired over 5 episodes. Remember, if you like this channel, press the Rod Bob subscribe button below. Place your comments in the box. We read them all and promise to improve on our product. But for now, just sit back and enjoy the ride.
Hi everyone, I'm Kaylin King from Make-A-Wish Mid-Atlantic. This year, Cruisin selected Make-A-Wish Mid-Atlantic as the selected charity partner. We're selling 50/50 raffle tickets, and then we'll get a chance to grant a wish this year. So thank you all for coming out, and we appreciate it.
All right, how you doing, guys? This is my 56 Chevy sedan delivery. I've been in cars forever. I'm 72, and 14 years old, I started liking cars. My parents raised me as a Mennonite, and we did everything, raised everything on the farm, cut our own corn down, butchered our own meat. My parents hated cars, but I was 14. Every day I went to school, I got off the school bus, there was this 57 Chevy sitting in the back. I kept saying to my dad, "Can I get that car?" And he kept saying no. So one day I stopped, banged on the door, and I talked to the guy, and I had a cow for the 4-H I was in, so I traded my cow for the first 57 Chevy I've ever had. And I've been into this stuff since. I don't know why, it's just cool. And I hope this hobby continues forever, because it's a great hobby, great people, great friends.
So, how long have you had this one?
This one I've had about 11 years. This was a complete junk car, whole new floor, fixed the quarters, put different doors on it. It's a 56 with a 55 Chevy front end. I'm a purist, meaning I don't build antiques, but I try to keep everything from the period. I drove this down here, 200 and some miles, and it drives good. Do all the work ourselves in the family. That's why it's called the family speed shop. And we don't farm nothing out. We always do it ourselves. Takes a little longer, and they're not perfect, but they're fun, and we enjoy it. We love it.
So it is a family affair. I know your son's car is here right next to us.
Yes, absolutely. A family affair, and the family means we have like 40, 50 people that we're all together, and every October we do a benefit at my house, the family speed shop for the veterans, raise money for the veterans, and we get like 100 people there. It's all like a big old-time family picnic. It's fun. And our money that we give to the veterans goes direct. We hand it right to the veterans. There's nobody in between. We make no money on it. Every penny we get goes to the vets.
And where is that?
It's in Pennsburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay, very cool. And what time of the year?
October. First Saturday in October is when I have it.
There you
People
go.
bring their old cars, free food, free beer, free sodas. We have a Chinese auction. I mean, it's just a cool day, as long as the good Lord has the sun out.
Amen. So let's take a look around, and you can tell me about what you got in it.
Okay.
Let me look at the interior first.
There's a 2-speed power glide in there. I put a bench seat in, which normally they have bucket seats in. Classic gauges in it. But it drives and handles so nice. Power steering. It's an old man's car, that's what I call it. 327, 300 horse from the 66 Chevy Impala SS. It's good. It likes the ultra gas, likes the high test gas. But it's a good, dependable car. 55 Chevy front end on it.
It's beautiful, I'll tell you that.
Thank you. And everybody thinks it's black, but it's actually green. It's green with a little bit of black I put in it to make it.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you guys can see that on the video or not, but definitely you can see the green bouncing. then I see your son right next to you.
That's his 57th. Should get him up to talk.
Sure. A true family affair.
It absolutely is.
All right, can you tell me your name?
Steve Hoffman.
Okay, Dave, can you tell me about your car?
1957 Chevy, two-door hardtop. Built it like a gasser replica. Got a 402 30 over big block Chevy. 2 4s. Just build it to have fun.
And Dad was telling us about your family event that you have every year.
For the veterans, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, it is.
And
It's a good deal.
And that's the best part about car shows, right? And car
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Car community
It's a
is such a giving group.
Yes.
You know. So let's take a look at your engine. Tell me more about that. What you got?
I don't know what really to say. A lot of goodies in there. Got a thumper cam, 3/4, roller, everything.
Do you take it to the track or?
Not yet. This is the first spring.
Go ahead. Let's see if I can get a picture. A good picture underneath. And who did the paint?
I did. Body man by day, all the new cars out there, and then I come home and work on the real cars.
That's the truth, man. That's the truth. Back in the day, we would take the back seat out because it would get you an extra 5 pounds off, you know?
That's probably what happened to this one, because it took me about 5 months to find a back seat.
Well, I'll tell you what, 2 things. One is it's 2 beautiful vehicles, but probably the best thing of all is it is a family affair, and that's what it is about our community, right?
100%.
Keeping it alive.
Yes, sir.
And Dad said grandkids will get it when he's gone.
That's right. Cars won't go anywhere. They're going to stay in the family.
All right. Well, thank you guys for showing us your vehicles.
Hello, how you doing today? Yeah, I'm John, my wife Kathy Fox. We're from Catonsville, Maryland, and have here a 1932 3-window Ford Coupe. It's got a 383 stroker, 450 horsepower, and it's plenty of horsepower for this little rascal. It's got a turbo hydro 350 transmission, 9-inch Ford rear end with cruising gears. So they got a 325 gear in it, so they can go down the highway whatever speed you want to go, and it just go forever and ever. Doesn't burn too much gas, but it does have a pretty big cam in there, so it's pretty nasty. The car was built about 5 years ago. A friend of mine called Fat Cats from down in Georgia built it, and I just did some minor repairs to it. I changed the spark plug wires, just match everything up being green. The interior, everybody always asks me about the seats, having trouble finding seats to fit. These are seats out of Honda Civic, believe it or not, and they fit in there perfectly. It's like a camel interior. The wheels, they're torque thrust, and my wife and I love cruising. We come to Ocean City every year. I've had the car for about 4 years now, I guess. And we come to Ocean City and won quite a few awards with it. We're happy with the car. Cruise is nice, but it's an old street rod, so it does bounce a little bit. Besides that, what else?
Why this?
I always wanted. I've always owned Fords, and I always had Mustangs, and I just always wanted one. And I saw this online, believe it or not, and the guy I knew, he built it, and I talked to him, and he got it for me, and we enjoy it. We really do enjoy it. My wife, she was a little skeptical at first, but now she has a hard time getting out of it. But I got to open the doors up for her. So, but like I said, it runs good, and I'm very happy with it. And I hope see you all later.
Hello, my name is David Wooldridge, and this is my wife, Kathleen Wooldridge. And this is the product of a 3-year search for a Shelby GT500 convertible. We had practically given up. My wife had given up. And in the last moment, a friend of ours found one right down the street from his house and said, I found it. So I had it appraised and looked at, and I purchased it without her knowing right before our 23rd wedding anniversary, and then took her up to the shop, and she saw it at the shop, and she said, there's the car we're looking for. And all of a sudden she shows up there, and she's like, do you know who the owner is? And my friend was like, yeah, I know who the owner is. And she says, do you think they want to sell it? And he says, I don't think they want to sell. And she's like, everybody has a price. This is exactly what we're looking for. He goes, all right, I'll call him. So he goes into his office. He comes back out. He's calling her, and she's like, why is John calling me? And then he holds up the keys. And she says, is this my car? And he says, yes, this is your car. And she's like, oh my God. And then we showed her the car, and we had a great wedding anniversary, and we've been driving it and doing all kinds of events ever since we got it. This is our 3rd year. Yeah. This is our 3rd year at Ocean City for Cruise Week. We've driven it up from Southern Maryland in Calvert County. We drive it to Ocean City, stay here the whole week, and then drive it home. And we got one. We wanted it to be a cruiser, and we just lucked out. This thing's all numbers matching. Motor, carburetor, trans, rear. It's pretty much all original. Even the window and the side windows are all original too. So this is what's really cool about this is number it has the Shelby VIN number, which is 1759. And this car was originally sold in Indiana, I got it out. So which is pretty cool. That I got online, and you look for stuff for your car like you do, and I found this Indiana plate from 1968 February, when this car was also made, and it's 1759. Best $20 I've ever spent on eBay. So it matches. It's Indiana plate, has the Shelby number. It's a 428 police interceptor motor, automatic transmission, candy apple red. One of the unique features about this is that we have the clips on the roll bar. Shelby had actually put these on here for all the 68s you've spec'd out, and 69s and 70s. These clips are actually for a surfboard or skis, if you're going to go skiing with the top down. I don't know why, but surfboard. Yeah, so mostly for a surfboard out in California. And we were looking for a surfboard to put on here, a vintage surfboard. My neighbor has a Mustang. We were talking to her about it, and the search for the surfboard. And she says, come with me, and takes me in a back room. She said my dad was a professional surfer in Puerto Rico, and this is his 1968 surfboard. So we have a matching vintage surfboard from 1968 from a pro surfer at our neighbor let us borrow.
So we put that on the car and take that to shows. We've been to Ponies in the Smokies. We've been to Mustang Week. We've been to Carlisle.
Went out to
We
Indiana for the
went to
SAC
Indiana for the
47,
SAC. Yeah.
which is Shelby Convention.
Yeah.
And we've been just enjoying it. We were featured in Carlisle in the Shelby tent last year, Shelby Building T, and people were shocked that she actually drives this car. She actually drove it down the tail of the Dragon last year, and we had a blast. We drive it everywhere we can and just try to enjoy it.
It's a great car.
You like it?
I love it.
Do I need to buy any more anniversary presents?
Well, let's not go too far. I also wanted to say the way you see it is the way we got it. We didn't really have to do nothing to it for the most part.
It even came with the Steely wheels, which are back home with the bias ply tires, and we have the hubcaps, the original hubcaps that go on it too.
And also the autograph.
And the autograph,
yeah,
by Carl Shelby.
Carl Shelby signed it.
But it's a really nice, clean car, a great driver.
So, why do you guys like the car community? What is it about our group that's different than others?
Oh my gosh, I think maybe because it's a variety of cars and these people are really friendly. We've met a lot of people doing these car shows for the last few years. I just enjoy looking at different vehicles and kind of hearing the history from other car enthusiasts like myself. So that's kind of nice. And you find out from most other people their knowledge on things and stuff that I didn't know that they know or so forth. But that's a big thing for me, meeting people and seeing the other cars.
Every car
So I
has
really
a
enjoy
story.
it. Yeah.
Every car has a story and a future story, And we're custodians of this car. We're going to try to take care of it, but it's not going to sit in a garage. We're going to take it out. We're going to drive it as much as possible and have fun in it.
That's really what Carol Shelby said. Drive them, have fun with them, drive them. So for the people who don't, drive them.
Hi, I'm Christina. I'm with One Off Rod and Custom, and we build badass rides. So this is our 1941 Ford. We built this for the Detroit Riddler. We were a grade 8 finalist. This truck has beautiful pinstripes all throughout it by Jerry Campbell. Elegant design. Everything is done in a two-tone. We call it a brown sugar and dark brown sugar. Even the beehive is painted. There are no details in this truck that were left undone. The hood has been pie cut and nosed. The top was shortened. The dash was layered in kind of like a mimic. Custom gauges. And both the hood and the bed are on the hydraulics, so we can just use an app and raise those up. In the back is where you find all the jewelry. And this is also polished using our Brilliant polish. One Off Rod and Custom does restorations on all pre-71 vehicles. We do a couple newer vehicles, but we do everything from paint, engine work, exhaust. We do everything ground up except for interior. Gary does do the design work for the interior, but we do sublet that part out. All of our vehicles are usually on display, and we take them across country to different shows. We've been in California. We were an amber contender with our 32 Phaeton. This right here has been one of our babies, though. We coddled this one. And everybody knows our iconic blue 32 Ford Roadster that does the burnouts all over the place. So check us out on Facebook, One Off Rod and Custom. Instagram is also One Off Rod and Custom. Want to shoot us an email, info@oneoffhotrods.com.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Lewis, and I'm speaking with, and we're discussing my 1966 Pontiac GTO. So it is a 389 Tri-Power, which is one of only 3 years. The 64, 65, and 66 are the only ones that were available with the Tri-Power. So that makes the cars a little bit more sought after. The 1966 is the most desirable because of the taillights in the back. So when you look at them, you'll see it's 3 louver fins that cover the taillights, which makes them a little bit more desirable than the 64 and 65. It is also a little bit more of a stance to it, so it has a little bit more muscle look. And when it comes to muscle cars, that's what people kind of look for. This motor did have to be restored because we had a little small issue with it, so it has been redone, but we kept everything the way it was. It also came with from the factory air conditioning. It has not been put back in because we're trying to make sure that the motor runs perfectly before we take the time to put the factory air conditioning back in. So that would also be something that would make this car more desirable. Convertibles generally did not come with factory air. It was a special request when you were to purchase a car brand new, because most people could not afford it. They did not put it in, and they figured with the top down, that was your air conditioning. So that is one more item on this car that makes it desirable. The third thing that makes this car rarer is the fact that it is manual transmission, 4-speed. So when anybody's looking for power in a car, they're looking for manual transmission because you can shift gears faster, you can get your car up a lot faster in speed. So the fact that it came with factory manual transmission makes this car extremely desirable to collectors. The red coloring makes it also very desirable. Red is the most, I don't want to say sought after, but it's the one that draws your attention to it the fastest. So people will pass by because it's red, it'll draw you in, then they'll see the white interior, they'll see everything else, and that's what makes them fall in love with the vehicles. It was an original GTO from the factory. A lot of times you will see that they were redone, and you would take a Tempest and make it a GTO, which would make it a Restamod. This is a original GTO from the factory, so GTOs are very sought after. So as he's taking a look at the fins on the back, that makes the 66 more desirable. So there was a lot of love to the car. We did buy it in Florida when we bought it about 5 years ago. It's been a great running car since we purchased it, and we just absolutely love it. Right next to it, you will see is another vehicle that we own that my husband is driving. It is a 1967 Ford Bronco. The story behind this is a friend of ours, him and his dad, Timmy and Danny Miller, always restored vehicles, and they found this particular vehicle, fell in love with it, and restored it. Danny died of cancer, and Timmy could not bring himself to drive the vehicle anymore, so his mother was not allowed. She did not want it sold to anyone other than family. So they came to us and said, because we were big collectors, we wanted to make sure it stayed in the condition it's in, that we took care of it. And we have since started taking it to shows, and we just love it. It was kept original, so most of the time you would see the fender wells in the back cut when people would lift the Broncos. They did not do that to this, which makes it much nicer. It just got raised, but it's the original interior. Everything has stayed the same. We've even kept it so that the original motor stayed in the vehicle. So a lot of times they would redo the motors to give them a lot more power. This has stayed exactly the same. We're even searching for the vacuum seal windshield wipers, but that's really rare to get a hold of. So because it is a 289 and not a 302, that's another thing that you just did not see. The 289s were rare to be able to get a hold of. And because it's a 289, it's not as easy to find the vacuum seal. And they do not rebuild them. So we're still searching for that, and that would complete the restoration to make it absolutely what it was from the factory when it was built, with the exception of it being raised. Again, it's red, so everybody loves the color because it's red and white. Not that we plan to do that, we just end up with that. And of course, our detail crew, Kevin, he's the reason we win all the trophies, is because he takes all the time to clean the vehicles every time we go somewhere. And we appreciate you wanting to take an interest in the Bronco and the GTO, and I hope I've answered all your questions. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is John McKinney. I own this nice 55 Chevy. This car was owned by Jim Swagler Sr. Here a few years ago, I was able to purchase this car to the reasons of passing of the gentleman. I'm actually really good friends with the family of the Swaglers, and we seen this car about 4 years ago down here at our Ocean City Beanery show. Always thought, man, that's one car you'd always want to try to own, and luckily 2 years ago, you know, unfortunately, but I was able to buy the car from the family. Real good friends with the family. Took it from pretty much a drag car and put her back on the street. It still has the original drivetrain in it. It's a 555 dart block, right around 970 horsepower, runs 8 seconds and a quarter mile. You can take it to the track and go, or you can just cruise up and down the coastal highway, whatever you'd like to do. As you can see on the paint, this is all airbrush, no wrap on this car. It was done probably going on 12 years ago now. It's got a full interior in it. Pretty much everything you see on this car has been the way it has been. It's never been anything other than a drag car until now. The history behind this car, this gentleman that owned it, he's been racing since he was a kid, so the history is just unphenomenal. Later in this, you'll see a article was made through the NHRA on it. It's one of them cars that you just kind of hope to own someday, and you do. We just pretty much show it around now, and probably never hit the track ever again. The detail on this car is really